Hey, welcome everybody to the Military Transition 2.0 podcast, where we're going to be talking about our Transition 2.0 system today.
We've been around for a couple of years now, and through our evolution, we actually have now a system. So let's cover why that's important by first starting off that saying the existing system, which is what we call, the existing model, we call the Military Transition 1.0 model, just does not work well because, as you know, as transitioning service members or military spouses, they just have you do way too much in the last 12 months of your service, least of which is actually helping you begin to change yourself to be ready for a private sector environment, which actually takes quite a bit of very, let's say, intentional training on your part, where you have to find someone that can actually help you do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we see it time and time again that I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you were as well, that folks just underestimate the transition. They find it, they think it's going to be very simple and straightforward and easy to an extent, or that they can do it at the last second. And those things are just not true. It's a major life change, and it's going to take some serious thought and transformation to make that a success.
Yeah, and I know we talk about this a lot, Aaron, when we chat, but the 1.0 system, not the one that's pictured here, but the 1.0 system also kind of does a fatal flaw of that is it really tells the transitioning service member in error, in my opinion, that they can plug and play in any organization, and that just is not true. Now, service members, as we know, because we were service members, very smart, very educated, a lot of grit, a lot of skills. But if you don't bridge the gap between the military and the private sector, which are vastly, vastly different environments, then you're really starting off on the wrong foot, which is why we created this 2.0 system.
Yeah, we want to go from giving you a false confidence to a real confidence that's going to actually impact your outcomes.
That's exactly right. So let's kind of we're using one slide today, so keep it nice and simple. Let me kind of walk you through the slides. So we do call this our Military Transition 2.0 system. It is a pre-veteran only. No one else is really doing what we call a systemic approach, which we think is critical, and we'll tell you why. So you can kind of see below the solution here, you've got a gray bar, you've got this magenta bar, and then the blue bar. What this is showing is, you do your military service, the red line is your transition time, and then the blue is actually post-military. What we're essentially doing with pre-veteran is we've elongated, if you want to call it left to bang. If you want to talk about earlier transitioning, that's what we're doing. We need to get you at a minimum of a year out, preferably 4 years out. And the way we bring you into our pre-veteran transition 2.0 system is via our employment prep course. And as you can see here, the employment prep course is a 5-week virtual course that's held 3 times per year in a cohort fashion, every February, June, and October. And what the purpose of the course is 3 things. 1, give you a new language. 2, give you a new mindset. And 3, give you a new understanding of the private sector and how it functions.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes total sense. And this is just one part of, because we're talking about a system, right? This is just one piece of that system. And that's the difference between a model and a system, because when we talk about a model, we're saying they do one thing, right? There's one touch point, one course, one program, if you will, that in their view gets them from start to finish with that line item being military transition. We just know it's a lot more complex than that you can't just do one thing and wash your hands of it and think you're good and you're ready to go. That this is, in most cases, a multi-year effort that really requires a lot of inputs from you and a lot of ownership from the individual to make it optimized and successful. But in order to make that happen, you do need the right tools and framework and support. And that's why we developed our system.
Yep. And like you kind of pointed to it already, but the optimization is highly individual. I mean, everybody's going to want to do something different. So, where our system is really creative is that you still get to choose your own path, but you've got a framework to pick any path that is good for you and your family. And that's really what makes us unique. So, here's how the system works. Again, the entry into the system is early, 1 to 3 years or 1 to 4 years before you get out. Go through our employment prep course. Once you do that, here's where the real magic happens. And this is something that is newer to the pre-veteran system is our pre-veteran alumni community. So what makes this really impactful and very transformational is the fact that everyone that's in the community had to go through the employment prep course first to get the new language, the new mindset, and then the new understanding of the private sector. And then you've got highly functioning individuals who have a completely different way of looking at the post-military market, along with all the other stuff you have to do, those different line items that you discussed. And it's all fully supported in the pre-veteran alumni community and guaranteed. This is something we can guarantee you is we can prepare you for all those multi-line items to get you really optimized, which means healthier, wealthier, better fitness, better ability to find the right industry company to find employment in, higher salary. It is all possible. It just requires you to do this earlier, make sure you're getting the right training, and make sure you're in the right community, of which we do now have this capability within pre-veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I always say a big claim requires big evidence. And, we just made a lot of claims there that here's where we're going to get you to. And we know there's a lot of emotions and stress and anxiety that goes into transition. And when you're further out, you don't feel the pinch of those emotions so much. But as you get closer to transition, it becomes more and more real. And what we try to do is reach out to you now while you still have plenty of time in that process to really consider it and consider the fact that where you're at now, how you're feeling now is going to change as you get closer to transition. And the reason we're confident in saying that we can make that process as efficient and smooth as possible is we've had over 100 people go through our program. We've been doing it for 2 years. And although we have updated our model into a standalone system that actually encompasses everything you need, we know with confidence that everyone who's been through our program, we offer a money back guarantee, for instance. No one has asked for their money back because everyone who's been through our salary and benefits course has been able to negotiate a higher salary. Everyone who's been through our employment prep course has had extreme value add, whether it was figuring out the what's next part of their transition or just understanding the private sector. So what we have to offer, we know it's real because we've been through it and we have the data to back it up.
Exactly. And if you're a military service member and you're kind of wondering if this is right for you, just imagine what your life could be like, right? We know you're anxious right now. We know you've got concerns. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you don't want to tell your spouse that you're concerned because you've always had the answers and now you don't. That can all melt away and you can exchange that completely with confidence and competence to make sure that you are ready. Now, we know that you haven't been in this yet, so we know that you don't know what it looks like in there, which is why we do have that money back guarantee. So if you want to make your life better, if you want to be more prepared, if you want to be more successful, if you want to have all those things, it's very possible. We'd like you to go to the website now. Our next course is being offered. It starts October 9th. We'd love to have you there. If you want to have another conversation before you actually choose to do so, we'll have our Calendly links for both myself and Aaron in the comments as well. You can get on our calendar. We can have a quick chat, answer any questions you have. But I think Aaron, we're really excited about getting the system discussion out there because this is where I think we're really serving not only the individual and their family, but the veteran community overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love to see the outcomes on the back end when folks successfully navigate this process. So our goal is to create happier, healthier, and better pre-veterans, one pre-veteran at a time. So we're happy to bring this to you, and we're happy to answer any questions. If you want to check us out on LinkedIn, on social media, or just jump on a call with us, that would be a great way to start. And we'd love to chat with you.
Sounds good, Aaron. Let's bring this one to a close, and we wish everyone well. Please reach out if you have any questions.
All right. See you next time.
See ya.